Mercedes has kicked off the 2024 Formula One season with another disappointing start. Of the 6 races completed, a mere P5 by George Russell in Bahrain is the best result Mercedes have found this year. Mercedes are now at 4th in the Constructors' Championship with only 64 points, which also involves both the drivers not finishing their races in the Australian GP. McLaren, who are their competitors for the 3rd spot, are at a huge lead with 124 points after 6 races, with Lando Norris having 3 podiums already and first-ever Grand Prix win at the Miami GP last weekend. The 2023 F1 season saw Mercedes finish the season without a win for the first time since 2011. The regulations changed in 2022, and the F1 world switching to the ground effect era hasn't helped them in any sense either. This era has not worked for Mercedes, as the previous hybrid era did. While the team finished the season 2nd in the Constructors' Championship, the gap to the top is just too far, and it's going to take some serious developments and growth over the summer break to challenge for the title next season, let alone this season. This begs one important question. How did Mercedes spearhead the most dominant era in F1, and why has the team suffered such a massive decline? So, how did the dominating F1 empire collapse? Let us first look at what led them to become this dominating franchise, and what were the key factors. Hiring someone successful in F1. The beginning was when Mercedes appointed Ross Brawn as the team's leader. One of the team leaders during Ferrari's years of supremacy, Brawn started by appointing Michael Schumacher, who is regarded as the best driver in Formula One history, to assist him in developing the team. Early shift to focus on the new regulations. Brawn realized the importance of the power unit, and as a result, Mercedes was arguably the earliest to begin the work on the V6 turbo hybrid. Hire an elite driver. Hiring a professional driver was the last missing piece of the puzzle. Michael Schumacher acknowledged that his time was running out and that the fire was beginning to go out. Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg's acquisitions gave Mercedes a super team. So, what went wrong? Resource drain. You look at the Mercedes lineup right now and you compare it to the team of the past, there are quite a few new names, while a lot of the old ones have either left or have been replaced. Andy Cowell, the man behind the groundbreaking V6 turbo hybrid, is now part of Red Bull powertrains. Bob Bell is gone, so is Jeff Willis, and Mike Elliott is one of the more recent exits as he departed this season. James Vowles has left the team early this season. He was someone who was part of the team for a long time. Although it would be incorrect to imply that their extremely skilled engineers and designers are inferior, it is reasonable to wonder if they employ anyone who can compete with Red Bull's Chief Technical Officer, Adrian Newey. Mercedes' W13 and W14 concepts are obviously flawed, but there are also worries that their engine is no longer the most potent. Since Red Bull and Ferrari seem to have more power now that the sport has implemented a 2022 engine freeze that will last until the end of 2025. It's also important to keep in mind that Mercedes, one of the wealthiest teams in the sport, is preparing for the budget cap that will be implemented in 2021. Mercedes is still far behind Red Bull in 2024, having only finished 5th in terms of single-lap pace. Mercedes always anticipated that it would start the year behind Red Bull in terms of pace, so that alone isn't a major worry. However, having a car that operated reliably and fulfilled team expectations was the main goal. That appeared to be the case in Bahrain, even though cooling issues hindered the race pace of George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. In Saudi Arabia, however, some well-known grievances surfaced. During practice, Hamilton was surprised and probably extremely disappointed to learn that, similar to the previous year, he was lacking a little confidence in the rear of the car. When the Mercedes is being drawn near to the ground by the strong ventures in the underfloor, it is evident that problems are occurring at a high speed, In terms of ground effect vehicles, downforce increases with increasing distance from the ground. However, you want to avoid hitting the ground to avoid bouncing or porpoising. This explains why these cars' suspension systems are so crucial. To provide sufficient downforce, the car should ideally be held in place by a mechanical framework that isn't too rigid to be manageable for driving. It's a sweet spot that Red Bull excels at hitting. Identifying the issue at hand necessitates a profound level of comprehension, and merely speculatively identifying potential issues is feasible from an external standpoint. The solution is hidden in the details. Mercedes will undoubtedly look to the form of the underfloor and possibly the detail of the floor edges to address this if adjustments to the setup and operation of the car are unable to resolve the issue, which seems doubtful. If Mercedes is able to comprehend it, fixing the aerodynamic issue would be feasible. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Mercedes's journey in F1. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into the world of motorsport. Until next time, keep racing.